I'm Gab. He's Jules. Blue skies over West London. Maybe. I don't know because we're in Doha. And what I can tell you is the sky is dark right
Always
now.
blue otherwise.
And the sky's a little less dark for Germany after their
Yes.
draw with Spain, but even more so after Japan incredibly lost to Costa Rica
Yeah.
earlier today. We're going to get into all that. There is so much going on. The USA and Iran that's coming up shortly after the USA's draw with Wales. We've had France winning again. So many stories. But Jules, let's start with the game I was at. Just came from there. Spain against Germany. Finished 1-1. Now, I touched upon this in the preamble. This is going to be pretty tasty because
Yeah.
earlier in the day, had Japan beating Costa Rica, and we were all expecting it to happen.
Completely.
Then it would have meant that Germany would have needed a win against Spain. Spain, let me remind you, they just put 7 past Costa Rica
Yeah.
to even stay alive in the tournament. They would have been going home. They would have been the third team eliminated after Qatar and Canada earlier in the day. It didn't work out that way. It was a 1-1 draw.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to put this idea to you. Mark Ogden, the very wise Mark Ogden, sitting next to me, I'm not going to try his accent, but he said, this feels like a Champions League group game between two of the favorites where they know they're going to play. They know that like the benefits of winning are outweighed by the damage done by losing. That was my vibe.
I think this is a bit cynical. I have to be honest, because
Mark Ogden, cynical?
yeah, I thought it was a really high level game. I have to say, one of the best of the tournament so far. Not so much in terms of chances created and not in terms of that kind of entertainment, but in terms of tactics, in terms of the awareness that you had to be on the pitch, the intelligence, the football IQ of both teams, what both teams were trying to do, which was very, very different. I give you that for sure. Two very different styles, and we can argue that maybe Germany could have attacked a bit more in the first hour, let's say. That maybe Spain should have and could have created a bit more, and after taking the lead, could have gone maybe a second goal, or had a first goal earlier. But I still thought this was a really, really high level game.
I take your point about the high level stuff. When you were there in the stadium, you saw very obviously how well Germany pressed in this game, right? Because you knew Spain were going to build up.
Yeah.
I was interested in how he was going to change things. There were some suggestions. They're going to play, Joshua Kimmich at right back. That didn't happen. He moved the large Sule inside together with Rudiger. He put Thilo Kehrer right back. Again, not my favorite player, but whatever. He's a body.
At least no Schlotterbeck.
He's not going to be. At least you got Schlotterbeck out of the lineup.
Yeah.
Although Schlotterbeck came on and made a great
Really
tackle
good tackle.
towards the
That's
end.
true. We have to give him that.
But most importantly, no Kai Havertz, no best on earth. No. He went with Thomas Muller up front and an extra ball-playing midfielder with, so you had Goretzka with Gundogan and Kimmich. And I thought it worked. And I want to say this about Thomas Muller. He's old. He's 33. He's ungainly.
He's not fit either. Completely fit. Match fit, I mean.
He was a freak athlete before. He's not that now. But when you're talking about pressing a certain way, it's not just about energy. It's about intelligence. It's about leading the press. It's about finding the right triggers. That man has a really, really big brain.
Yeah.
He's got a really big footballing brain. And that was part of the reason I thought why the press worked so hard and why they were so disruptive to Spain. Other than the shot from the Dani Olmo shot in the first half, which Neuer made a tremendous save, I don't remember any Spain opportunities before minute 60, except for the one that was disallowed.
Yeah, no, you're right. I think the importance for the front four for Germany and how they all complement each other was really good. So if you can Gundogan, Müller, Gnabry, and Musiala, 4 very different profiles that actually work very well together by being very good at what each of them's speciality is, if you want. So the press for Müller, I mean, Musiala is just outstanding for his age. It's just incredible for me. He's just out of this world. And then you've got Gundogan, who plays almost as a 10, but sometimes more as an 8, which was very clever. And then Gnabry on the right with his pace, who a couple of times could have been through on goal and could have done a bit better maybe. So that worked well. And I still think that Spain at times moved the ball so well that they're almost like just too happy to move the ball,
Yeah.
And instead of thinking about a bit more cutting edge, they just pass the ball and they're happy without really thinking about the end product. But when the end product arrived, like that ball from Jordi Alba towards Morata, then it's pretty special. I just would like those kind of balls or balls into the half spaces like they did a bit more in the second half. I would like to see that a little bit for too much of the time, I think.
All right, you know my thoughts on this whole like sort of genuine number 9, false number 9, and so on. I think a lot of it is nonsense. However, in this case, when you take off Ferran Torres for Morata after 9 minutes like he did, I don't know that Marco Asensio, who was playing through the middle mostly until that point, I don't know that he would have made that run where Jordi Alba found him.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe not.
I don't think, I just don't think it would have been a natural instinct for him. I want to ask you about the goal as well, because Morata gets a ton of criticism. And we've all seen him miss a lot of goals. But ultimately, I think he's like the 5th leading goal scorer in the history of the Spanish national team. And he's going to pass a few people in the coming years.
Yeah, he's quite close.
The man is tall, he's strong, he's very mobile, he's extremely unselfish.
Yeah, he's good technically.
He's very handsome,
but
and he's very hardworking.
He's just not a good finisher, full stop.
I don't know. I don't know if we need to wheel out the
finisher.
XG. Okay, he's not Robert Lewandowski.
Yeah, he's not a good finisher. But this is a really good finish from a not very good finisher.
Yeah, but it's an alternative to play Marco Asensio, who's far more technical, but just simply doesn't play center forward.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. But he brings you something different. And again, maybe because you played Rudiger and Sule, you needed your 3 little guys up front, Olmo, Torres, and Asensio, to just move around all the time. The ball would move as well. Gavi and Pedri would pick up those positions between the lines, and that could work as well. But I think one that doesn't work after an hour, then you go back to Morata. And I'm completely fine. Or you do the other way around. You start with Morata, and if that doesn't work, you go back to your little, like your small front 3 if you want. I think that could work. On Morata's goal, I think the less he has to think, the better he is. The ball comes, it's pure instinct. He goes with the outside of the right foot. By the way, I ask everybody to watch the goal again, and Niklas Zule's. Just keep looking at Zule, because when the ball goes wide to Alba, and to be fair, Kerrer takes a long time to shuffle across, so Alba has a lot of space to cross the ball. Zule is looking at his shoes, doesn't see that. No, I swear to you, he's looking at his shoes, Gab. And then Morata goes in front of him, and then it's over.
It looked like, in a time...
He was just looking at the floor. I was like, what are you doing, dude?
In Italian, we have an expression called rubar il tempo, which means stealing the time, stealing the moment. And that, I kind of feel that's what Morata did to Zule. Now, watching from the stands, I did not notice him looking at his
have
feet.
a look again. He was crazy.
I thought he did it with a shimmy, with a movement. But when you get that half step, and then Sule's not going to be able. Sule can catch Morata over 50 meters. He's not going to catch him over 3 or 4 meters. I was interested with the finish, though, because before we came on, we were sitting over there. We were speaking to Herc Gomez as well, former U.S. striker, long career. And I asked, if the ball's coming from there, why wouldn't you take it with your left and just side foot it? Because it seems to me it's a lot more difficult to finish the way he finished.
Yeah, I think he was very instinctive. And then from where the ball is coming from Jordi Alba, his body position would be hard, I think, to hit it inside of his left foot. So then the other option is to try inside of the right foot, but then you let the ball goes in front of you, and then maybe that kind of extra second, the defender can tackle and block the ball, for example, or you show a lot of the ball to the goalkeeper. It was like that. I think he surprised Neuer. He might have surprised Zule as well. And then to be fair, he kind of bobbled just in front of him. So it's not on the ground. If you watch it again, the ball is slightly over the ground, which makes it easier for him with the outside of his right foot to hit it the way he did.
And that's why we just finished saying, you just said he's not a good finisher.
No,
but sometimes he pulls off stuff like that.
Yeah, of course. But he's still a very good player, so the instinct is there and he's good. But for example, on the Fulkrug goal, everybody gives the assist to Musiala, and he's the last player to touch the ball before the shot from Fulkrug. I don't think Musiala means that at all. I think he wants
Sané before that.
The ball from Sané to Musiala. Yeah. Musiala touches it, but I think he wants to bring the ball in his path, and he ends up into Fulkrug's path, who then smash it into the goal.
It was a little bit like the Brazil goal where Neymar's in the box. The first goal.
Yeah, the first one when
Neymar's
he let the ball to Vini. Yeah, exactly.
And then Vini just takes it.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.